I built £20 million in turnover from a 2K loan. And in this episode, I'm going to break down the journey that I have been on to get here. But before we kick off, today is episode 350 of this podcast. What started back in March of 2019 as a means to inspire and motivate the mortgage industry, then the financial services industry, then general business owners or anyone who is interested in building a business, income, and lifestyle they truly love, has now reached 350 episodes. So whether you've been here for one episode or all 350, I want to say a massive thank you for coming on this journey with me over the last, 5, almost 6 years. And I cannot wait to continue sharing the knowledge, giving you insights, giving you principles that will hopefully improve your life and your business so you can achieve your goals and earn the income that you truly desire, to live the lifestyle that you truly want with those that matter most. So here's how I went from a 2K loan to £20 million in turnover, and importantly, what I would have done differently during that time. So in 2004, I didn't know what I wanted to do for a job. These hands are built for office work. So I went and worked for the Woolwich. I was very quickly fast-tracked into being a mortgage advisor, but then was in a business with no leads in the middle of a town where the age demographic didn't need a mortgage. So over a series of years, I moved from Woolwich to Connells to Alexander Hall, having been doing sales with my dad when I was 13, doing markets and boot fairs. You know, my people skills were pretty good. So I'd always been a top performer, but I'd always struggled with either lifestyle or the quality of the leads that were coming through. In my last employed role in 2005, it was a brand new business where the inquiries were being purchased from Money Supermarket, and we were able to take that business up to £100,000 a month within 11 months, working on bad credit mortgages. So at that point, I said to my dad, I know how to get leads. Can I borrow £2,000? Because I want to go self-employed. And I did. In the November of 2005. And I was a mortgage broker on my dining room table for a couple of years before getting hit by the credit crunch and bad credit mortgages disappeared. You know, I was probably doing over £100,000 a year in 2006 and 2007, but those types of mortgages and those types of deals did not exist. So in 2009, I decided to diversify from mortgages into insurance. I'd always been selling insurance to mortgage clients anyway. I let my best mate buy in the April of 2009. We scaled really quickly, taking on employees. And when I went on my honeymoon in 2011, I realized that we had both been trying to drive the car. I hadn't sat down and differentiated the key roles between us. The responsibilities were all the same, and we were just butting heads. And I was working a lot. He was not really in the office. And I just decided that for me, I needed to scale back and start again. So about the end of 2011, it was just me and a PA, and I rebuilt again from scratch. Right the way up until 2015, still buying all my leads. I did no marketing. I sent no emails. Yes, I had a half decent system, but all we focused on was new leads coming in, converting those new leads, making commissions. And that was it. I ran the business on spreadsheets and built my team up to 15, which was far too many people for the level of turnover that we had. But we were doing pretty much 7 figures a year. But I was first in, last out. I was still doing 9 till 9. I was back to work in 2012, 3 days after my first daughter was born. I was back to work 2 weeks after my second daughter was born in 2014. And I had no lifestyle really. We were making good income, had good cars, we're going on great holidays, but I was still employee mindset. And I knew that I didn't want to continue the way in which I had done. I knew that I needed to get a different outcome. In order to do that, I had to do things differently. I wanted to get back to mortgages, but I just didn't want to continue buying leads. I didn't want to rely on estate agents or other introducers. I wanted to be able to market and generate leads for myself. So long story short, in 2015, having had my most profitable year ever and my first daughter being the age where she would be starting school, we wanted to move home. The property prices, had started to increase. We had more equity than we imagined in our current home that we bought in 2011, and it was just the right time. But when I went to my bank, they said, no, Gary, you can't move because of how you earned your income. You've left all the profit in the business. Your wife's now self-employed. So I didn't take that no. I went and phoned 180 lenders in 3 days, and I found a whole niche opportunity in self-employed mortgages. So we put an offer in the house in the July. We moved into the house in the October. And I said to my team, you got 3 months to go and find a new job. And all of those team did, bar one, which was my PA, who I kept in January 2016. And I started again from scratch with zero pipeline, zero team, zero mortgages, and I went gun-ho on social media. And by the end of 2016, my PA and I were able to bank 324,000 in fees and income and commissions purely because we were attracting ideal clients. Now, I was one of the first on social media in the mortgage industry, so it's way harder now than it was back then. But having understood the power of speaking to one person in the marketing, being able to generate all of my own inquiries rather than relying on lead providers was a game changer. I then took all the insights that I'd learned over the course of that year from speaking to thousands of self-employed people and put them into my first book, which became an Amazon bestseller, The Self-Employed Mortgage Guide, in 2018. I then went on to win Mortgage Strategy's Best Small Broker due to our social media efforts, due to the way in which we were helping clients, the way in which we were doing things differently. And it was at that point that my industry started asking me for help. So I just started training some of the stuff that I had learned to other financial services professionals. And that's now evolved into a whole secondary business as well. But during the course of 2020 and 2021, I continued to recruit self-employed advisors. I made my mortgage brokerage run with one employee and a whole team at our peak of 17 self-employed advisors. And it took me 1 day per week to work in that business. My whole goal in 2016 had been to stop advising as quickly as possible. And when I achieved that in around about the 2018 sort of point, it then became to make the business run without me on a day-to-day basis. And I achieved that a couple of years later. So the big thing I'd say to you if you're building your business is think about what's the next milestone that you want to achieve. And every decision should move you one step closer to that milestone. Now, I had one of my most challenging years in 2022. My mum had a major bowel operation in July 21, and that brought on Alzheimer's and dementia. And she eventually ended up passing away in the April of 2022. My mental state and my brain was not in my business. But as we got towards the end of that year and I started to look at the business as an overall, I saw that the brokerage wasn't operating as efficiently or as profitably as it could be. The self-employed model no longer ticked my business boxes. It didn't support my learnings since 2016. Go back to 2015, being first in, last out, having a team of 15 people, still doing 12-hour days, not wanting or not understanding leading versus managing, still being the bottleneck in that business on a day-to-day. It really gave me a fear of building an employed team again. But fast forward to 2022, 2023, my personal development and my business knowledge has grown so much from being around other like-minded business owners, from being part of masterminds, from running masterminds, from coaching my advisors, my team, and my coaching clients, that I was ready to do things differently. So in 2023, I made the decision to change from a self-employed model to an employed model. I kept my self-employed team and I just brought all of my leads back underneath an employed advisor and a PA in 2023. As we moved in to 2024, I now had 3 income streams. I've got a self-employed team, an employed team, and my coaching business now called Systemize and Scale Consulting. And I saw the challenges. It's been one of the things that I've wanted to fix for years in financial services in particular, but also in my own businesses. The processes and systems are really poor. Mortgage networks, financial services networks, even the tech that's off the shelf provide a CRM system that deals with fact finds, compliance, payments to introducers, credit reports, ID checks, but it does nothing when it comes to sales and marketing, emails, social media, nurturing customers and clients. I tried to develop my own technology a couple of times before. I tried various different systems. I was using ActiveCampaign for email marketing, Calendly for diary booking. I was utilizing Pipedrive to manage the customer journey in a more detailed fashion. I was just getting fed up of using multiple different technologies that I founded Active CRM, which is our tech where everything is all in one place. And in 2024, I began to roll that out to the industry, having tested it in my own businesses. So when we went through 2024, we now added an additional income stream in terms of the CRM. I also transformed and changed the coaching business, moving away from in-person masterminds to more a merge of online and offline, taking all of my learnings through lockdowns and pandemic, and then all of our in-person stuff that we did for almost 2 years. And I've created a perfect formula between the two, where it's more about, yes, some training, but more coaching, more implementation, more tactical driven success that helps you to achieve your personal goals. And we now have over 100 coaching clients on the CRM and also in our coaching program, Systemize and Scale Accelerator. So it's been an absolute game changer of a journey. There's been loads of ups. There's been even more downs. I've learned a huge amount about business. And over that period of time, from 2006 up until the end of 2024, have generated £20 million in revenue. And it could have been a hell of a lot more. In my first 10 years, I made too many mistakes and lost too much money in not understanding marketing and learning how to specifically build a business. Since 2016, I've done everything differently, but I've still made a huge amount of mistakes. But now, as a father of 4, in 2016, I was a father of 2, lifestyle has always been my major priority. So I've always prioritized finishing work at 5 o'clock to be home with my family and with my kids. I don't want to be the dad that when they grow up turns around and says, Daddy was always working. That's not the lifestyle that I want to have. I want a business that gives me an income and gives me a lifestyle that we can truly enjoy, helps our clients to achieve their goals, inspires our team to work with our clients, and does things differently. While turnover could have been higher if I'd have committed more time and energy, profit has always been good enough to give me and my team a really nice lifestyle. And we're focusing heavily on the profit side of things as well as the turnover side of things, but always juggling in the lifestyle and the time. So moving into 2025, it's the first year in 5 years that I haven't started with a specific challenge. The runway is completely clear ahead. We've kicked off a fantastic start to the year, both in the brokerage side and also in the coaching side. We're onboarding new clients every single month. And next week, I'm going to be sharing with you how we were able to generate in excess of 700 leads in 2024 and the strategy and the tactic that you need to implement in your business as quickly as possible if you want to not only attract the now buyers, but also attract the future buyers. And when you're consistent, when you're committed, when you understand the destination that you want to go towards and you create little wins and goals along the way, I can promise you, as a guy with 2 GCSEs, 1 in woodwork, anything is truly possible. But fundamentally, it's about learning new skills, challenging yourself, and being prolific rather than being perfect. So here's what I've learned from nearly 2 decades in business and £20 million in turnover. Number 1, a niche is not optional. It is everything to your marketing and your sales and your future business. My niche started in self-employed mortgages in 2016. It still is self-employed mortgages and business owners in the mortgage brokerage. It's been financial services advisors, mortgage, insurance, commercial, and IFAs since 2019, and that has been a fundamental game changer to the turnover and the lifestyle that we're able to achieve. The second is systems will save you. Without decent systems in your business, you will always be doing repetitive tasks. You won't be able to nurture your future buyers. There's a hell of a lot of information out there online. Not everybody is ready to buy now. So when you're able to capture their details, you're able to own that data outside of social media, having systems that manage the whole entire customer journey is a game changer for your business growth. And third, if you're working 50, 60-hour weeks, you don't own a business, you own stress. Your goal is to systemize so you can scale and have a business that generates leads, increases your sales, and maximizes your profit even while you're sleeping. You need to have everything automated and systemized to make that entirely possible. And it is possible when you start to understand that you don't need to achieve everything in a year. You just need to make incremental growth and incremental gains so that you can still live a lifestyle you truly love. So if you want to understand how, without sacrificing time, in 2025, we are going to double the turnover of all of my income streams and businesses, then stay tuned for the episodes coming up, because I'm going to give you the tactics, I'm going to give you the strategies, but more importantly, the principles for life and business so you can achieve the same too. Look forward to seeing you next week, and thanks for being a fan, a follower, and a viewer.